nothing is going to happen if you only do it once or twice. You have to keep going week in, week out.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Marketing Snapshot, and this time I'm with Zoe Russell. Hi Zoe.
Hi John.
How are you doing? Okay.
I'm good, thanks. Yes. How about you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Zoe and I have known each other for quite a while actually, and recently came back into my radar, and I suggested that we had a chat because Zoe's really involved in marketing. So Zoe, do you want to tell everybody a bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I run a business called ZHR Marketing, and essentially my whole ethos is about making marketing as simple as possible for small business owners.
Yay!
So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff when you come to marketing that people think it's going to cost an absolute fortune, that it's really complicated, and there's lots of jargon around it, and people don't understand what to do. And like any subject, if you've got a bit of training in it, then obviously it does make it a lot simpler. But marketing is not rocket science. And so I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible for the sole trader to be able to do their own marketing, but to know what they need to do, and importantly why they need to do it, because people make lots of bad decisions that cost them a lot of money and don't have the right kind of results.
That's fantastic. Cool. So I'm guessing you're fairly unique because I've not heard very many people say that they do that kind of thing, unless I've not heard them.
I think fairly unique in this particular marketplace, yes. So there are a lot of marketeers who will help people with strategy, but then that's also a way for delivering marketing. So there are a lot of people who are out there who actually deliver marketing on behalf of other businesses, and I have done
Yeah.
that myself in the past. But what I've found is that when you focus on just the kind of the promotional marketing side of things, sometimes it's not the right place to start. So I actually start with helping business owners work out what their overall strategy is, and there's an element of looking at some of the real fundamentals of marketing and how they impact inside the business, because you can't market a business effectively if you've not got the foundations right. So I look at the strategic things around really who is the target market, what is the product offering, and what's the pricing structure. And it's surprising how often those things aren't actually aligned within a small business, because we've all started a business doing something that we're really good at doing, and we focused maybe on that. And as small businesses, there's this sense of you want to sell as much as you can to as many people as possible. So you're scared to niche, for example. So you're scared to kind of say, well, this is the person who I'm selling it to, in case there's somebody over there that you could be selling something to and you miss out on a sale. But ironically, what happens is that when you do kind of hone it right down and you're really clear who you're selling it to, and you're really clear on having a nice specific product, it's actually massively easier to get clients, because your prospects know that they are your prospects, and that they know you offer what they want, and at a price that they're prepared to pay.
That's so true. True. Yeah, I have to say, it's with my business. I've been in business for quite a while, as you know. But as I got clearer and clearer about who my target audience are, it marketing has become easier and easier and easier.
Yeah.
Because at one stage I was just sort of, I'm a photographer, buy me, and now I'm kind of crystal clear that kind of my target audience are camera shy, service-based business owners who want to move up to the next level with their marketing. And it just makes it so much more easy to talk to them, because I know who I'm talking to.
That's it, and they know that you're talking to them as well. And also, if you do networking, which obviously lots of small business owners do, if you're asking for referrals, if you're not clear on who you want and what you offer them, how can you expect any of the other people in the room to be clear? And so if you can make it very, very clear, then everyone can understand, and you become the go-to person for that thing. And in the same way, I've massively niched my own business. As I said, I used to work on the delivery of the marketing as well. And when I restarted things, there was a nervousness that, will I be able to get enough business just offering this one thing? Well,
Yeah,
I'm getting more business now than I did before when I offered so many more things. And it's the thing I love to do. So I really enjoy doing it.
yeah,
So, it's every day is much more fulfilling as well.
yeah. So important.
Yeah.
It's so important because that's one of the things. That is one of the things about starting up a new business, isn't it? You just want to do what you love doing, and you soon realize that most of the time you're not doing that. You're doing other things like
Yeah.
accounting or marketing, or I mean, if you love marketing, you're in your ideal role. If you love marketing and you're marketing your marketing, then that's brilliant. um Certainly as a photographer, all I wanted to do was take photographs, and I soon realized that actually very little of what I did was photography.
And I think
um
that's a big shock actually for a lot of business owners when
it
they've
is.
set up, that the amount of time that you actually get to deliver the thing that you want to deliver is quite quite small, isn't it?
Yeah, it is to start with, because you've got so many other hats to wear.
Yeah, but
Cool. So
that's when
how
you go on.
go
Sorry.
on. So no, go on. That's when you.
Well, I was going to say that's when people start outsourcing, and it's looking at
Yeah,
who you outsource to and what you outsource, and how to become as efficient and effective as possible while still retaining the control that most small business owners really want.
yeah, yeah. And that is the thing, is kind of, you do have to wear all those hats initially, and then as business picks up, you can start to offload the stuff that you don't like doing, which is always a relief. And there's always stuff that you don't like doing, isn't there? To be frank, because
Yeah.
because there just is.
Yeah.
You'd rather be doing what you set up for in the first place. So, how do you do what do you do differently to your competitors? Is a question that I normally ask people.
So I run workshops with my clients. So, I'll have a conversation with people and identify whether they're having challenges with their marketing. And more pertinently, quite often people will be having a problem with articulating their product offering, for example, or really getting in front of the people that they want to talk to. And that goes back to not having those fundamentals in place because they haven't necessarily defined those things. So I run I can do it face to face or on Zoom, depending on where we are in the pandemic or
Yeah,
whatever. And it's really, really simple. It's either half a day or a whole day. It's one to one. It's not group workshops or anything like that. That
yeah,
wouldn't work. And we go through a process, and I've got various things that I need to cover in my workshops to really understand the business. But some businesses will want to focus more on one area or will need more work on a different area. And because the workshops are so organic, that's what we'll
mm,
do. We'll get to the nub of it. And then as a result of the workshop, we'll look at what promotional tactics, so that's the things that people normally consider as marketing, whether it's a website or a brochure or a direct mail campaign or e-shots or social media or whatever. We'll look at which tactics are going to be most appropriate for them, and also how they need to apply those tactics, because a direct mail campaign in one business will look very different from a direct mail campaign for another business, for example. And so it's my job to kind of give them the in the strategy document, the foundations will be written up as to the output from the workshop, but then they'll get this kind of strategy about the different tactics that they could use and why they would work for them, and creative ways that they can apply them. And then I also provide a 90-day plan, but it's rather than being like a goals-based 90-day plan that we're quite used to, it's very much an action-based plan, in that there's almost instructions, if you like, of what people have to do every week to get their marketing tactics to work.
Okay.
So it's really helpful for people, because sometimes you can be told that you need to go and do something in marketing, and then it's like, well, I don't know where to start, and I don't know what steps I've got to take, and there's processes that you've got to follow. So they get a document that has the processes in, so that they can just follow them and make it happen. And then I do ongoing mentoring and support with people as well, where I sort of catch up with them every couple of weeks and just see what they've done against the plan and what they haven't. And then if they've got additional questions or still haven't quite worked out how to do something, we'll brainstorm that. And then we'll keep doing that and keep replanning and keep moving them forward. So that's it in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, that sounds fab. And how much does photography kind of figure in what you do? Does it figure at all?
Yeah, well, obviously, there are recommendations for people to have things, for their social media, if they're going to have a brochure, if they're going to have a website. And, visual images are really important. And it will depend, obviously, on how much budget people have got for different things. But if you can have photography taken so that you can capture the essence of your brand, now you've worked out what it is, then that's a great thing to be able to do. But we would also look at, well, if you're going to have photography taken, how clever can you be with the output, and how much can you leverage it? So, how often can you use those photos, and where can you use them, in what formats, etc. Because it's about getting as much bang for your buck as you can, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when I'm kind of going through my process with people with my marketing hat on, not that I'm a kind of proper bona fide marketer, I'm always trying to work out kind of how can they get the photos, that what are all the pages on the websites that they could introduce themselves into as many pages as possible, so that people get to know them, and the more I always think the more they see them, the more they're likely to trust them when it comes to actually buying from them.
Well, people buy from people, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's why, as small business owners, most of us tend to do an awful lot of networking as well, because it's all about building relationships. And sometimes building a relationship visually, if you see somebody's face in different places, it helps you build that relationship, even if you're not talking to somebody. There's probably some real psychology behind it, and some proper psychological explanation for it. But if you think about LinkedIn, if somebody hasn't got a profile picture and they send you a connection request, I imagine that the likelihood of you accepting a connection request from them plummets.
Absolutely. I always ask everybody who comes onto the Marketing Snapshot for a tip. So do you have, Zoe, one tip that anyone who's watching this can take away and put into action in their business that will help them move their business forward?
I would say consistency. So if you decide on a marketing tactic, be that posting on LinkedIn regularly, or doing a newsletter, or doing email shots, or whatever it is, be consistent about it. So nothing is going to happen if you only do it once or twice. You have to keep going week in, week out, week in, week out. Now, test and measure, because if you're doing it for a long time and it's not giving you any kind of results, then that is an indication that something is wrong and you need to tweak. But don't just do it once over a 2-week period and expect great results. And then when it doesn't work, think, well, that marketing activity doesn't work. It's a long game.
Yeah,
it really is. So you've got to keep your activity constant and consistent.
absolutely. Very good. That's fab, Zoe. Thank you very much for that. So if people want to get in touch with you, where would they find you?
So my web address is zhrmarketing.co.uk. I'm on LinkedIn, Zoe Russell, fairly easy to find. They can always go into your connections and find me in there.
Indeed.
And I regularly promote on LinkedIn. I promote my free webinars. So I run a free marketing webinar, usually the last Friday of every month, but the next one is on Thursday, the 22nd of April, 10 a.m. And I cover different topics, fundamentals of marketing, top tips, all of that kind of thing. So just people can start getting a flavour and get, have some little things that they can go away and try working on in their businesses already.
Excellent. Thank you, Zoe. So that's it for another marketing snapshot. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. If you've enjoyed this, please drop in a comment if there's something that we've discussed that you're interested in or you've got an opinion on. Drop a comment in the comments below, or like it or share it would be really helpful, because it helps me to get the word out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.